Hi guys, I'm Amber.
And I'm Brandy.
And we're here with this week's beautiful and beloved video for you in my basement.
You might notice that it's a little different and we look a little different. We're not like all sweaty with our hair on top of our head. We actually do get dressed every once in a while. We even put on makeup just for you.
Yep, we've got 7 kids upstairs running the show.
Yeah, doing their own thing, and we're hiding in the basement. This week I was reading in Matthew 23. And it's Jesus talking about the Pharisees. And he says, you can do what they say, but don't do what they do. Because they might have good instruction, but they're just going to put more weight upon you over and over again, and they're not going to help you carry the burden. And it's not going to work. And he said, in fact, because you have me, don't even call yourself a rabbi or call anyone else rabbi. Don't even call anybody teacher or instructor, because you are just brothers. And actually, the greatest among you is the servant. Mm-hmm. So that reminded us again, these might be like teaching videos, but it's not because we're teachers. Like, we are fellow, I like the word sojourners. I love that word. That we're sojourners together, that we are sisters and brothers. You guys are our brothers, if there's men watching this, in Christ, and we're learning and serving, and part of learning and serving is us bringing you the raw parts of us. Right. So Amber called me Thursday night and knew that this is what our video had to be about.
Yes. So Thursday I went to like a night of prophecy and healing prayer and worship. And for any of you who've never done that, it's just women who feel like they get, or men who feel like they get a word from the Lord that they're supposed to speak over you. And so this woman had a word that was for me, and it was that she saw a heart, and it was this, like, it wasn't like a heart, but like a heart. And it was like a beating, beautiful, healthy, red heart. And when she walked around to the back of it, though, the back of this heart was just bruised and torn and bleeding and in just desperate need of healing and healer. And that a healer came into the room, and that wherever the healer walked, that only the good part of the heart was shown to him. And it really, really rocked me, because for like the past 3 years, I've endured an incredible amount of heartache, and the last year in particular has just been intensely heartbreaking for me. And I realized that I have never really fully gotten healing from it, that we have dug deep, and that I have opened old wounds, and I have done work for old scars, but that the current heartbreak is something that I'm still hiding, and I'm still hiding it from God, even though He's God, and He knows my heart is broken, and He wants me to come to Him, but I won't. That I feel farther from God this last year than I ever have, and that it's really time for me to show my broken heart to people. That I have felt kind of like a hypocrite here in these videos and online for the past year, just pretending like I have this beautiful whole heart, and when really it's broken and mangled. And really the only person I've been able to show the mangled part of my heart to has been Brandy. So I'm stuck to Brandy like glue. Like, it's like if I could surgically attach us to one another, I would. Because
you know me, I love her. You used to call me the Klingon.
because I can be real with her, and because I know that if and when I fall apart, that she's not scared of that. Like, that it doesn't bother her that I fall apart. And more than that, when I am falling apart, even when I don't even know I'm about to fall apart, if I'm just talking about something, she'll see straight to the heart of the matter, and she will walk me into the throne room of Jesus. She brings me to God every single time. Even after we recorded the last video, I started talking about my dad, and she was like, let's talk to Jesus. And then I ended the day just sobbing, because it's fun to hang out with them. It's so good, and it's so healing, and it's so nice to have somebody in your life who is safe and who will take you to Jesus and not just give you advice, and not be uncomfortable and awkward that you're still not over the thing that happened a year ago, that somebody can walk with you and be with you. So we want to talk to you about what it is to like find safe people and to be a safe person.
Because both are important.
Yes.
And it's not for everyone. I mean, you have the Beautiful and Beloved, the shop is upstairs.
Yeah.
But every customer who walks in the door, Amber's not like, come, let me show you my basement.
Like, no.
That's not necessarily smart.
But I have shown some people my basement.
Yes, exactly. And so how do we figure that out? Mm-hmm. How do we figure out who we can trust? And then how do we become people who can be trusted?
Right.
And so there's lots of resources on this. We totally recommend you reading the book Safe People by Cloud and Townsend, and pretty much everything Brene Brown writes. Daring Greatly, she talks about this and the courage to be vulnerable and how to find people who can handle that. Because the truth is, we really believe that the world is longing for people who will be authentic.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
They want to not wear a mask. Everybody, I think one of our deepest desires is to be seen. Mm-hmm. And I love the scripture where it talks about Hagar and he names God, the God who sees. Yes. Because we desire to be seen and to be known. And when you are seen, it changes everything. But where do we do that? Mm-hmm. And how do we show that? Because some people, when you take off your mask or when you show them your basement, are like, yo, sweet. I'm so glad because that's just what my basement looks like and I'm honest too. And then other people are like ticked.
Right, because they have been hiding their basement and their mask, and they have been in hiding and working so hard.
And it's like a slap in the face to their hard work.
Yeah.
I have worked for this mask. How dare you take yours off? Mm-hmm. And yet still, we believe it's worth it. And so we came up with just a few things that categorize for us what safe people are like.
Right. You go. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
So I think it's important that when somebody brings their wound to you, that you don't compare it to a wound of your own. Because to somebody to bring something to you and then you say, oh yeah, I totally know that's what that's like because I went through that, is to nullify what they're going through. It's to take what their pain is and make it about you, and it's mm-hmm. not about you. And whatever happened to you in that similar pain is not the same, and they don't need your advice about what you did when you had mm-hmm. some crazy other painful thing happen to you.
Yeah, it's more about the advice, I think, even than the empathy. They do want to hear, I understand brokenness because I too have been broken.
Right.
Or I can imagine what that pain feels like. But if you then say, I know how to answer that because I went through something like that, honestly, what you're telling them is they're stupid. Right. Because if their solution...
can you imagine what I went through because mine was so much worse?
Do not ever say that. There's a rule. Don't ever say that. My pain was worse is not the thing. Because all of us go through trauma. And it doesn't matter if it's a big T trauma or little T trauma. Trauma is trauma is trauma.
And it hurts.
And pain always hurts. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if you're the victim of human trafficking mm-hmm. or the little girl who was told that no one would like her on the playground.
Right.
Both traumas and both matter. Jesus says, I will collect your tears in a bottle. He doesn't say, I will collect some of your tears if they're bad enough. No, what he says is, I'll collect your tears. So how do we do that? Mm. How do we look at someone? And I think one of the things that people need most is validation.
Yes.
They want to hear because they want to be seen. They want to hear, of course that hurts. Of course that was painful.
Yeah.
Of course you're scared. Scary things have happened to you.
Mm.
Of course you're in pain. They want to hear that their pain is okay because the world says your pain isn't okay. You got to get your act together. So the number one thing you can do, if you only work on one thing, it is to validate others because they long to be seen.
Yes, absolutely.
And don't give quick advice. If their problem could be answered in 3 simple steps, you're telling them they're stupid for not having it figured it out yet. Mm. In fact, if I've learned anything with reading the Bible, is that I've got no advice. Like, God told Abraham to kill his kid, people.
And I would have said,
Peace
don't do
out.
that. Don't
Peace
do that.
Out.
Like, you're probably not really hearing from God.
Half of the things in the Old Testament, I would have been like, yeah, I don't think that's God. Elijah, God told you to go to the mountains, and don't worry, ravens will feed you. I would have said no, and I would have been wrong. Mm-hmm. And so my only advice, I actually have a bracelet that says it from my friend Lisa, and it says, ask Jesus.
Right, and that's all Brandy ever tells me to do. When I
Trust
bring
Jesus.
something to her, she says, let's bring that to Jesus. And that's just what we do. And it's empowering, and it's holy, and it's incredible.
And then be willing to ask Jesus with that person.
Yes.
Say, let's ask Jesus. I'll go and I will hold your heart while we do. And I will cry with you. And I will go into those memories with you. And we will ask Jesus what he says. And then to trust that the healer will do his work. And you guys, it doesn't have to be done in 30 minutes. And this is why we don't want to show our basements. We don't want to show our hurting heart, because people expect you to hurt for 6 weeks. After that, they're like, you're still hurting?
And it's awkward.
It's super awkward. Instead, we need to be like, you know what? Pain takes a long time. And you get to walk your journey with Jesus, whatever that looks like, whatever your healing looks like. And it doesn't have to be done in 30 minutes, because I don't have to fix you.
Right.
And I don't have to save you, and I don't have to have an answer. All I have to have is a willingness to enter your pain with you and to take you to Jesus and to go to Jesus for my own pain.
And
because we're never really done.
No.
Like,
and to go to Jesus on each other's behalf. So
Yes.
like in our morning quiet time, say, I know that Brandy said that this was bothering her, and so I just want to pray for peace for her today.
Yeah.
Or I just want to pray for her health. Or, and it doesn't have to be necessarily for that pain that you know that they're walking through, because you don't know where they are, but just for their spirits and for their a peace.
So be safe and find safe people. And you'll know it, because, guys, it's time to take off our masks. The world is hungry for authenticity. And they're hungry. The church is hungry for safe people. I think this is why I get so many phone calls and emails. Strangers across the world.
I'm super lucky to be her friend.
Email me. No, that's not what I'm saying. But people email me to say, like, can I tell you my story?
Women call her from Australia.
Like,
Crazy.
I love you if you're
But
watching.
she's super safe. Because she never tells anybody what they need to do.
And because I did my own work.
Yes.
Honestly, it starts with not being a teacher. It starts with being a learner and being a student. And people know they can come to me with brokenness because they know how broken I've been. That I know what it's like to feel so broken, you think you could never be put back together again. And then to crawl into that dirt and have Jesus meet me there. And to have him speak life over places that I thought would always be dead. And to go into the ashes and say, you got to go into your own ashes and do your own work so that you can boldly walk into the ashes of other people and watch Jesus work, because it's messy and it's nasty there. But one of my favorite things to say is that if you want to see Lazarus-style miracles, you've got to hang out at the tomb. And it is messy and it smells and everybody's crying all the time. But it is here that we get to see the God of the universe bring the dead back to life. And that is why you can speak over others. And I'm not afraid of the dead places, because I know the God that brings life.
And that's why we do these. That's why we're doing this.
Yes.
Is so that not only can you find this, not only can you find your beautiful and your belovedness, and can you find healing to your broken places, we are doing this so that you can do it for other people.
Yes.
We want to start a revolution. We want people to be listening and loving other people the way Jesus would, all over, and we want you to bring hurting people to the throne room, and to be able to say, I did this work and it's hard, but I am here for you. And
it's an honor.
Yes.
I get front row seats. Yes, I might have to listen to people's stories of their rape or incest, or I get a lot. But I also have front row seats for God bringing people back to life. And that's what we want to give to you. Front row seats for your own work that Jesus can restore and he can heal things that you think, those parts of your heart that you don't think anybody would ever want to see. And then you can do it with others.
We just want you to know you're beautiful.
And you are beloved.
If you haven't got the app yet, the link's down there in our description, or you can join us on YouTube or Facebook or wherever.
We love you.
Love you.